Hi, John.
Hello there.
Hi, and hi, Dr. Runge.
Hey, Mary.
John, can you see my screen there with the
Yes,
list? Okay.
yes. And I want to let everybody know that we're going to get started in a couple minutes. We have a couple more people that just asked to join.
Hi, just a quick question to Larry with Fox 47. Is there a way we could get permission to record?
Yes, if you have any trouble recording from your end, we're also recording this ourselves and we can send you the link.
Yeah, do you know when you'll be able to have the recorded link to it?
Say that again?
I said, do you know when you'll be able to have the recorded link to us?
Immediately after the meeting.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Virtual press conference. My, how the world has changed. Actually makes it more efficient. I mean, for our media colleagues, just being able to zoom in versus having to hop in a car and go somewhere. Very different. Mm-hmm. Well, sadly for Michigan, neither Michigan State nor University of Michigan are in the Final Four in the finals tonight. But I do have one. I'm rooting for one team, San Diego State. My sister went there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So did my sister-in-law and brother-in-law. So gave me a reason to root for San Diego State. UConn's, I think, heavily favored though. I don't know if you saw the match with San Diego State and Florida Atlantic, but the game buzzer jump shot was just, right out of March Madness fairy tales.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're going to get started. Thanks to all the media who are on board. I know we sent you out an invite on short notice, so we thank you for joining. Today, our participants are going to be Jim Dover, President and CEO of Sparrow Health System, and he's seated with John Parrish, who is the chair of our Sparrow Health System Board of Directors. And they're joined by Marshall Runge, Dr. Marshall Runge, CEO of Michigan Medicine, Dean of the U of M Medical School, and Executive Vice President of Medical Affairs for the University of Michigan. If you are free to record this, if you're not able to, we are recording it and we'll send you a link as soon as we're done. Corey Alexander from our team is recording it. The participants are going to give short remarks and then we'll take questions. And to ask a question, just raise your hand. And I'll call on people as we do that. I want to make sure we've got everybody here that we need to have here. Jim, would you like to get started?
Certainly, be happy to. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm James Dover. I'm the President and CEO for Sparrow Health System, now part of University of Michigan Health System. My just a couple of brief remarks before I turn it over to Marshall. First and foremost, today is just an absolutely historic day for us. We've worked so long and hard in order to prepare ourselves to be able to officially join the University of Michigan Health System. Very proud of this moment, as well as what the future now offers for us. We have already begun work on identifying those clinical areas where we can actually bring higher level of care and additional types of clinical services to the region. We've been unable to do so in the past by ourselves. So we're very excited about that partnership and everything that has to offer for us going forward. So with that, I believe, turn it next over to Marshall, and then I think Marshall will turn it over to John.
Thank you, Jim. So I'd like to just start by saying we are absolutely thrilled and excited to begin our future together. This has, as Jim said, a lot of work has gone into bringing our two institutions together, which really started now several years ago with some clinical collaborations. And one reason and the prime reason that I think this is such an exciting point and a historic point in time is that our missions are being Sparrow Health and Michigan Medicine are completely aligned. What we're about, all of us, is about improving health in those communities that we serve. Sparrow has been an absolutely first-rate and will continue to be a first-rate provider of health in the Lansing, but much broader than Lansing area. And our joint mission, vision, and values are totally aligned with bringing care to the highest level care to patients in our regions, and each of us bringing our strengths, which includes for Michigan Medicine, nationally renowned clinical excellence in accessible settings. From the Michigan Medicine standpoint, this expands our long-term vision of having a statewide system of highly coordinated care so that every citizen in our combined geographies will have access to these top-line procedures, access, and as well as improvement of health. So we hope to create, and we will create, a clinical care network that builds on the strengths of both Michigan Medicine and Sparrow from a statewide and a community-based network. And I can't wait to see the future. Now I'll hand it off to John Pirich.
Thank you very much, Marshall. On behalf of the entire board of the Sparrow Health System, I want to congratulate both of our entities for this incredible accomplishment that was formally effectuated on April 1st. Our vision is to combine the strengths of University of Michigan Health and Sparrow to better care for our communities that we serve throughout the state of Michigan. I think while getting to this point is a key achievement, we've got an important road ahead of us, and visible changes due to this partnership are going to take some time, but quite honestly, we're working toward a long-lasting future, positioning ourselves for another 127 years of keeping our patients and our communities in mind. In that regard, detailed integration plans are being worked through by the integration teams from both Sparrow and U of M Health, and as we begin our new partnership, we are encouraging our teams to maintain our shared standard of excellence and to keep our patients at the core of all we do. Again, we're incredibly excited. This has been a long and winding road over the last 3.5 years, but we're excited to have gotten to the finish line. Use a metaphor that we're all familiar with. We got the ball over the goal line, and now it's time to play ball.
All right. With that athletic metaphor, thank you, Mr. Pirich. We have a question. Again, if you have a question, please raise your hand. We have a question from Dustin Walsh of Cranes.
Hi, thank you. Is the Sparrow name going to stay, or how is it going to be, I guess, marketed in the region after the integration? And also, obviously, you guys are co-owners in PHP. Is that also going to change or remain as it is?
Marshall, do you want me to handle the Sparrow question, and do you want to handle PHP?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. So as far as, thank you, Dustin, for the question. As far as Sparrow's name is concerned, we actually have a marketing and communications combined team working on that issue. As of today, the Sparrow name stays. We expect there to be a brand change over time within the next year or less. Currently being tested in the market is the best probably brand name recognition. You know, both brand names are highly regarded. University of Michigan Medicine is probably the top recognized and highest regarded brand name in healthcare across the entire state. Based on the research I've seen in the past, Sparrow is the highest in our region. Question is, how do we get the best of both worlds? So that's still being worked through.
Thanks, Jim. In terms of PHP, Dustin, We have already been partnering with PHP. Michigan Medicine has been a partner, and we will continue that. And I think we all feel that has had PHP has had great value, and we want to build upon that. And we'll be working together to build upon that. As John Pirich referred to, there are a lot of different aspects that we can now begin to look at integrating that we couldn't do until all the formalities of us becoming one entity had been finalized. PHP will be a very important part of that.
Thank you, gentlemen. Next, we have Carol Thompson for the Detroit News.
Okay, thanks for taking my question. I'm going to lob two, if you don't mind. First, Mr. Dover, you mentioned that this partnership will bring additional care and services to the region. Could you be more specific about what additional programs or services people might see as a result of this? And can you tell us the purchase price?
So as far as the first question is concerned, the additional services, we have a combined team working together, looking at what clinical services can we expand across the region. I think that within the first 100 days, we'll see expansion first in plastic surgery. Our goal is we want to treat complex cancer patients here, like head and neck, breast cancer, et cetera, as well as complicated reconstructive surgeries. So we see that as being the first one out of the gate. Number two is anesthesia. Believe it or not, we're very short on anesthesiologists in our region. We've had trouble recruiting. We actually have a couple of ORs that are shut down right now because of our lack of anesthesiology. So that is the second one. So within the first 100 days, we want to see improvements in those two areas. Again, as I mentioned in a prior answering your second question, there is no purchase price. This is a member substitution agreement. So the sole member of our corporations becomes University of Michigan Health as expressed through the Regents of the University of Michigan.
Okay, we've got Hannah Worley from the State News.
Hi there. Thank you for taking my question. Just kind of similar to the question that was previously asked about branding. Are there any plans currently for buildings on MSU's campus to be renamed to include the University of Michigan?
I can't speak for Michigan State University. I would find it doubtful that they would be adding a University of Michigan brand name to a building on Michigan State University, from that standpoint.
All right, thank you. And just to clarify, is this an acquisition, a buyout? How would you define this merge?
This is a member substitution, whereas as two nonprofits, so therefore the new sole corporate member becomes University of Michigan Health Corporation.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, we've got Kristen Seamus from the Free Press.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for taking my question. I wondered if you could share with us what is the anticipated market share for this newly combined system?
Oh, interesting. So I can speak for our region, Marshall. I don't know if you want to speak to the system as a whole.
Sure, go ahead, Jim.
Okay. So for Sparrow, our market share hovers somewhere between 56 to 58% for our 5-county region. So we currently already have the dominant market share within our region. Currently, University of Michigan has about the prior separate University of Michigan Health had about 4% market share in our region. So our combined market share now becomes somewhere in the 60% range.
And how about statewide?
I'll comment on that in general. I'm sorry, I don't know exactly the numbers, but as Jim said, and I'll just build upon that, we believe that our coming together will increase our market share in the general area, which includes our location, the Michigan Medicine locations in and around Ann Arbor, and also in Southeast Michigan, as extending to Lansing, because I think we'll offer convenience and services that will build upon what is already present in those communities. In terms of statewide, we don't yet have an analysis of what the potential is. Certainly, it'll grow our market share because I think there'll be people that would like and really want to receive their care from our combined entity. So, but I'm sorry, I can't give you estimates of market share today.
All right, next we have Robin Herb of Bridge.
I'll throw in two questions too, if you don't mind. One is, and they're both about the patients. One is the doctors. I mean, is there assurances for the Sparrow patients right now? They keep their doctors. They get more doctors. What exactly happens if I have a Sparrow doctor? One, and could you explain a little more about PIHP? I know there was just explain a little more about PIHP if you wouldn't mind. Thanks again.
Don, do you want to take the doctor's one? I think that's a pretty straight answer.
Straight answer is that every patient continues to have access to their physicians that they've had in the past. The good news is there will be an enhancement of opportunities for specialist care that we may not have been able to provide to our communities in the past that we will now be able to provide going forward. And as Jim Dover said earlier, we're going to expand a lot of the specialty areas going forward, which is one of our immediate goals, especially in the area of plastics, gastroenterology, the complex ear, nose, and throat offerings, as well as cardiovascular and orthopedics. So we're very, very excited that not only will our patients in mid-Michigan continue to have exactly the same level of services, but they'll have the enhanced level of services going forward.
Yeah. We currently have about 400,000 lives under the care of Sparrow Medical Group within the 5-county region. We expect that number to grow over time, and no patient will lose access to their current physician, except for those who like normal retirement and turnover and those sorts of things. As far as PHP is concerned, Marshall, I don't know if you want to take that one or if you want me to address it.
Sure. So PHP is a entity that provides basically healthcare insurance and works with employers and works with others, and has offerings principally in the mid-Michigan area. We anticipate that it'll be an attractive option between our two institutions, now one, that will result in it being an attractive option for employees and employers in the region. It's early days, so I can't tell you more about that, but we see growth in PHP. Jim, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, the only other thing I would add is that PHP, the ownership is now 90% University of Michigan Medicine and 10% Covenant Health System out of Saginaw. So remember, PHP has coverage in both over in the Saginaw region, Kalamazoo, Jackson, mid-Michigan, and then the question is, what are the next areas in order to grow PHP? We already offer a Medicare Advantage product in and around Ann Arbor and Southeastern. So we have goals for expansion, but we want to get through the transition first of the affiliation.
Okay, we've got time for one last question from Kate Wells. For those who have further questions, feel free to email either Mary or I, and we will get you answers. Kate, go ahead.
Yeah, hi guys. Thank you so much for holding this, and thanks for answering our questions here. Broadly, can you talk a little bit about what the regulatory process looked like in terms of navigating the FTC? Was there a portion in which the state attorney general was involved? We're seeing the Biden administration clearly try to crack down on some of these mega hospital mergers. We've all seen the research over the last few years showing that these mergers can often mean higher costs for patients. Can you talk a little bit about the regulatory process and really why this merger will be different?
Marshall?
I'll make a couple of comments. I'm sure that Jim and John can make additional comments. The mergers that are best for providing high quality healthcare are those where the entities that are joining have separate catchment areas, so to speak, and that is certainly the case for Michigan Medicine and for Sparrow Health. And in that kind of setting, it allows both institutions to grow and provide optimal healthcare. Although you're absolutely correct that in some cases with mega mergers, which this is not what I call a mega merger, or corporations that have acquired many hospitals, there has been an increase in costs. Actually, we think that we can deliver care less expensively by combining our assets. And so that is certainly a goal of what we do. All these things do get looked at by the FTC and also by the governor's office and state legislative process. And so we've been through those processes. And of course, as always, the proof is in the pudding. And so we'll need to show how we are achieving these lofty goals that we've outlined today. And before I sign off, I just want to thank all of you for attending this press conference today. And we're all happy to provide additional information as it would be helpful to you. Jim, can I hand it to you or John?
Sure. John, you want to mention anything on the regulatory, and then I'll add one last word.
We don't have a lot of time left, so it may get cut off. So if we do get cut off, we'll make sure to email responses to anybody who has questions.
Kate, on the regulatory side, the Federal Trade Commission reviewed the entire affiliation agreement and expressed